Okay, all, we are inside of the chamber about to face off, or Zeek and Sir Brennus are going to be facing off against the massive viper. However, as I said, this is an elite monster, and it has a special ability we're going to have to process first. So let's read what this is. This is called Thrashing Strike. And there's some key words I want to point out. Before combat, whenever you see before combat, that means it only happens at the start of combat. It doesn't happen every combat round, because the difference with dungeon combat, like we saw, and chamber combat, is persistent. It's going to keep going over a series of rounds. So when you see before combat, you only do this at the first, initially fighting the monster. But there are some monsters that will say every, like at the start of every combat round, you have to do that. So fortunately, this is only at the start. So if you picture it, this massive viper's coming at them. Before combat, each hero must test strength 11 to block the viper. On a fail, the hero takes 1 damage and loses 1 essence. Also, test physical resistance 12. On a fail, that hero is stricken with a physical affliction. So this is a really good one to show you, and again, to learn more about the game. So this massive viper is kind of thrashing around, and it's going to try to strike Sir Brennus and Zeek. And we have to test strength 11. Let's take a look at Sir Brennus's card. I won't pull the other ones, just so, I can teach you a little bit while we're playing. That right there is his strength attribute. He's got a +2 to strength. So what we're going to do is we have to do this, it's this thrashing strike. It's going to try to hit Sir Brennus. So we're going to, we could add 2 to this roll. We're going to roll the d20, and he just made that. So we have a result of a 10 plus his 2, that's 12. So he is safe from the thrashing strike. So he did block it. That is very good. Awesome job, Sir Brennus. However, our wizard, well, he's got a 0. He's not very strong, which is of course appropriate for a wizard. So he can't add anything. So he's just going to have to straight roll an 11 or better to try to block this. And that's not good. 6. So he did get hit with the thrashing strike. And what that says is, on a fail, the hero takes 1 damage and loses 1 essence. So Zeek is going to have to lose 1 essence. He's going to also lose 1 health from that. But remember, the good thing is it's only going to happen at the start. But remember, we talked about a physical affliction. This is something that he could take right now, possibly. So as it reads, also test physical resistance 12. On a fail, that hero is stricken with a physical affliction. And remember, we looked at bleeding. That's what could happen. So what is a physical affliction, and how do we test that? It's very easy. Each hero, you're going to look down here at the warfare values. So if we look here, and he's, again, he's a wizard, he's not very versed in physical afflictions. You're going to take the physical warfare symbol, and that's -3. So he's already up against, this is going to be tough for him to pass. If he doesn't, from that bite, it's seeing if he's going to be, take an affliction from that thrashing strike. So we're going to roll, and he has got to roll, well, this is resistance 12, so he's going to have to roll really good to offset that. And he rolls a 12. Look at that. Okay, so he rolled, but then the thing is, though, remember on his card it was a -3. We're going to have to -3 from that result. And so that drops it down to a 9. And he had to beat 12. So he is going to suffer a physical affliction. We're going to get that card, and I'm going to put this over there in his player area. So he is bleeding now from that. So he's going to lose 1 health at the start of every upkeep phase. Real quickly, if he would take a second physical affliction, he's going to have that, of course. You flip the card over, and that's a 2nd degree. He has a broken bone. He's going to be unable to roll the D6, the warfare die. So all of them go like that for the different afflictions. If you ever take a 2nd degree, you're going to lose the D6. You got to drink an elixir. So I'm glad I showed you this, how this all happens. And so I'm going to put this in his player area. It's not very good for Zeek. So now we dealt with that, and we're going to see what is this Massive Viper versed in. Well, we can see it's versed in physical warfare, ranged warfare, and mythical. So what we're going to do is go over to our combat chart, and we are going to select those. Physical, ranged, and mythical. Okay, we're going to randomize it. This Massive Viper has 3 health. Okay. And I purposely wanted to do this to show you something. So we can see phase 1 is ranged, phase 2 is physical, and phase 3 is mythical. Let's go over here and look at our heroes here. Now, I purposely did this to show you kind of the disadvantage of only having 1 weapon. You always want to have your heroes dual wielding. And so let's go, we can get rid of that. So phase 2, let's start with phase 2 since that's going to be our strong one. Sir Brennus is excellent in physical warfare. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack with his worn sword in phase 2 because we can add a +3. He's very proficient. So we have a good chance of putting some damage on that Massive Viper. And again, we have to meet or exceed 13. If we don't, we'll take 1 damage. I feel pretty confident, though, that Sir Brennus can do that. Ranged warfare is going to be rough. And I don't think... Maybe we should. I'm thinking, we can only attack in 1 more phase with the oak staff. And I don't think he is not proficient at all with mythical warfare. Well, he's got a +1. So I'll tell you what, let's do this. How about we attack in phase 3 with the oak staff? Because he can add a +1 to mythical warfare rolls. And if we look, that Massive Viper is, of course, versed in that. So we have a kind of a good chance. We can put 1 damage on with either weapon. Finally, we're going to have to defend in phase 1. And I think I'm just going to give that to Sir Brennus. We're going to have him defend because he can add a +1 to ranged warfare rolls. And he has simply more health, where Zeek does not have as much health, and especially he has that affliction. So let's go over here and see what's going to happen. I feel kind of confident. I think we can hopefully kill this in 2 rounds. And let's see what is going to happen. Let's say what we're going to do. So we're of course going to defend. We're going to attack in phase 2. And we're going to attack in phase 3. See that? Okay, I already have the warfare dice over here. So let's drop them in. Now remember, this is going to go over a series of rounds. Going to roll. Oh, wow, that's terrible. That was an epic fumble right there. So let's phase 1 was ranged, and then phase 2. I think we did good in phase 2. Terrible in phase 3. Okay, let's start with this right here. We had Sir Brennus defending. That's only a 6, right? And he has +1 that he could add to ranged warfare. That's 7. Unfortunately, he had to get a 9. And again, that value is a 1. I'm going to go over to his card, and I'm going to mark it down by 1. So that's not a good start. However, he scored pretty good. That's an 8 and a 3. It's a 11. But he has a +3 on his, he's proficient in physical warfare. So that's 14. Looking at that, and wow, he just made that. If we notice, that's 13. He scored one above, so he did land a hit. So we can get a damage marker out, and we can put that here. I'm just going to set this over here. So we do have 1 damage on the massive Viper. Last phase is mythical, and we had Zeek attack. Even with his, what, +1 it was? Yeah, +1, that's only a 4. Most certainly it does not meet or exceed 11. He is going to take a damage. So we'll lower his health by 1. Not doing too good. But I wanted to show you this because that's what happens. You know, you always want to have your heroes dual wielding to have a better chance. So we're going to reset our app. Remember, this is all, we're going to re-randomize everything. This is a persistent battle. So we're going to randomize them for round 2. Okay. And I think we're going to do pretty much the same thing. Let's go over here and clear up our battle tokens. You know, we had them like that. So, phase 1 is good. So we're going to hopefully land a hit in phase 1. We're going to put that on the Worn Longsword. Phase 2 is ranged warfare. We're just going to have Sir Brennus defend again in that. And then finally, in phase 3, we're going to have Zeek attack again with the Oak Staff, but he can add that +1 to mythical warfare rolls. So let's go over here to our app and go attack. Whoops. And then we're going to defend in phase 2, and then we're going to attack in phase 3. We're going to probably go pretty brisk because you can kind of see now how all this works, right? So let's roll. I think we did good. I have to tell you, I'm always excited when these dice roll to see, you know, how the battle played out. No, they did not too good. Okay, so we have 9 there, of course, in physical warfare, and we needed to score a 13. Notice 13, and even with his +3, we talked before, he is proficient, but it's only a +3, that's 12. I'm not going to bring it back over here, but Sir Brennus is going to take a hit. So I'm going to lower his health by 1. It was not a good round. Sir Brennus scored, however, in 11, right? 8 and 3 is 11. He can add a +1 to that. So he scored a 12. Let's take a look at the Massive Viper. Perfect. So he did defend. He won't take a damage for that. That's good. However, Zeek in phase 3 with his Oak Staff, that did not do good. 5, even plus with the 1 that he could add to Mythical Warfare, that's a 6. Zeek is going to lose another health. His health is going down, guys. So that is that's round 2. Again, it's persistent. We're going to go again. I'm going to clear the battle tokens real quick. And again, this would be going much more brisker if I wasn't, you know, explaining everything. So let's reset it. Or no, sorry, randomize it. Okay, we're going to kill it this round. We're going to do this time. Okay, you know, real simple. Let's just do this right now. I'm going to attack, since you kind of know what's going on. I'm going to attack in phase 1 with the Oak Staff with Zeek. We're going to attack in phase 2 with Sir Brennus with his Worn Longsword. Sir Brennus is going to defend in phase 3. So let's go over here real quick to the battle tokens, and we're going to set that up again. So, phase 1, Oak Staff for Mythical Warfare. And then phase 2 is going to be Sir Brennus with his Worn Longsword. And then he is going to defend in phase 3. I feel very strong, guys. I think we're going to kill this thing. And again, heroes can always evade out of a chamber. That's an option. They can evade out. But when they leave a champion monster in there, it can start an incantation. And we talked about this on the incantation track. If that ever fills, there's a hex placed over the village, and you don't want a hex on the village. So let's see what's going to happen. Hopefully we can kill it. I think we had a pretty good roll. Yes, I think we killed it, guys. So phase 1 was mythical, followed by that. And I think we did good. I think we killed it. Phase 1, let's look at mythical warfare 11. Wow, and Zeek, he scored a 10. He does have that +1 on his, I'll show you that just so you know. He has that +1 on his card. That's an 11. He scored a hit. See, didn't I tell you? I told you we were going to land a hit on that. Very cool. And the Massive Viper does have 3 health, as you can see. Sir Brennus came in with a monster hit. That's an 11. He is +3 in physical warfare. He can add that. That's 14. And only a 13 we needed. Sir Brennus lands the killing blow, and we've done it. But if you consider, I'm just going to put we actually have, you'll be getting those things. There's 3, so I'm just going to take that out. The heroes have managed to slay a Massive Viper. How do you like that? Remember, so again, say that, we had Sir Brennus defending. If this was, like a 6 or wherever there's a 1 or 2, like if he scored that, of course, the Massive Viper would have damaged it. We slayed it in phase 2. So this is kind of like null and void. Very awesome. But they took a lot of damage in that. That's with Dungeon Crusade, you never know what's going to happen inside of these chambers. Always rally heroes and have them dual wield. It's not over, though. We killed it, right? So see this, that green value right there? That is called life force. Think of that as XP, but life force is used in different ways. You use it to level up, gain new special abilities, plus a couple other things. So let me get the life force out. And these are these little green globes here. And life force is used, it's like in a collective pool, so all heroes can draw from it. So I'm going to set these aside. And then remember, we have a loot and gold roll. Champion monsters have a better chance of dropping stuff. So just like we did with the minion, 18 plus will get us a loot card. 13 plus will get us 100 gold. Let's roll the D20. Be great to end with a loot, wouldn't it? Oh, man, 7. Nope. This Massive Viper wasn't carrying nothing at all. Okay. Guys, I hope that you liked that. This was kind of a drawn-out combat, but I hopefully that you enjoyed seeing all of this. So I'll tell you what, the hero phase is over, but we get to see if the Ruby Stone Ring is here for our main quest. So we're going to, of course, we killed that champion monster. We're going to get that thing out of here. Won't see that again. And notice there's the quest item. We're going to reveal it. Look at, we have found the Ruby Stone Ring for Sophia Nordland. This completes our main quest. So we're going to take this over here, put it in the player area, so they can take that back on Celebration Day, or Albus can run that back. You could give that to your fetch on Albus to run back to the village. What are we going to do? We're going to come over here to the main quest. We've completed the main quest. We're going to close, see how it's like an open book? We're going to kind of close the book. We have finished our level 1 quest. How do you like it? Okay, everyone, I'll tell you what, come on back because we have the monster phase, and the monsters are going to move on the patrol route system. Remember, we got this dastardly skeletal grunt that's going to try to do some hit and run tactics. And I'm going to show you minion population, that we have to spawn in a minion to meet the minion population. So come on back for the monster phase. I'll see you in just a second.